How's it going, you guys? With today being Halloween, I really wanted to give you a recipe that you can make at home, make it a little bit spooky, and give it a bit of that Halloween style. So I was sitting around thinking, what kind of ice cream kind of encapsulates the idea of Halloween? And I thought, why not do a mint chocolate chip ice cream? Got those green colors, those blacks, and you could really spice it up. So I wanted to start this off easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first make the mint ice cream. And now to make the mint ice cream, it's really gonna follow the same recipe as our vanilla ice cream, which I'll link down in the description below. But it's a very simple ice cream recipe to follow that's gonna taste amazing and be extra smooth. And one of the secret ingredients that I like to add into my ice cream recipes to make sure that they are gonna be super smooth is some of that corn syrup. Now do not sleep on that ingredient, guys. It's really gonna make sure your ice cream comes out super smooth, especially when you're making it without an ice cream making machine. But after we get our eggs and sugar mixed together all nicely, and we have that component taken care of, we're going to start slowly heating, and when I say slowly, I mean really slowly heating up our cream mixture here until it's just at a very slow, barely boil. You're just gonna wanna see some bubbles around the sides and really just see a bit of steam coming off. You don't wanna scald the milk here, you just wanna kind of bring it up to a higher temperature. And now that we've reached that temperature, I'm going to slowly temper our egg yolks and sugar mixture here by slowly pouring it in while mixing constantly. And you don't really wanna mix it too fast. You'll know you're mixing it too fast if you're getting a really foamy top. You just want to nicely and gently mix it. That way you're tempering the eggs and you're not making scrambled eggs, because nobody wants scrambled eggs in their ice cream. And after I'm done tempering the egg yolks, I'm going to pour it back into our pot. I'm going to put it back on the stove and bring it up to a very light boil. Really, this part is just to thicken it all up together. And after it's all thickened, I'm going to pour it back into our bowl, where I'm going to mix in our vanilla extract and, most importantly, our mint extract. Because again, this is going to be the mint portion of our mint chocolate chip ice cream, and you're really going to want that mint flavor. And you can also substitute this with a peppermint extract. I wouldn't really suggest it though, because you really are going to want that mint flavor. But if you only have peppermint extract, feel free to use it. It'll come out close to the same. And the reason I'm adding in the extracts and flavorings now is because as the ice cream cools, that's when it's going to really hold on to those flavors. If you add the extracts in too early, you might risk cooking out those types of flavors, and that's why I add it all in at the very end. And of course I'm going to dye this green now, and I'm not going to use all of the dye right now. I'm just going to slightly color it green, because as it cools, it's also going to turn a deeper green, and that's kind of how you can gauge how much food coloring you want to add. So I'm only going to add a little bit just so I know that this is the mint chocolate chip, or this is the mint portion of the ice cream. And after giving it a good mixing, I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge for overnight. This is just to let the flavors meld a little bit while also letting the cream come down to those fridge type of temperatures. That way it'll be easier to freeze it in the end. Now we're going to move on to our chocolate ice cream here. And to start off, we're going to add in our 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And of course, all the amounts are going to be written down in the description below. And to that cocoa powder, I'm going to slowly start by mixing in our cream. And the reason I don't want to just throw in all the cream at once here is because cocoa powder is kind of hydrophobic. It doesn't really like to mix well with any type of liquids. So we're going to give it a bit of a head start by slowly incorporating our cream into the cocoa powder. That way it mixes much better. And take your time with this step. Really make sure it's all combined and mixed well. Even get the edges that you might have missed, because again, it really doesn't like to mix well. Now we're going to put that off to the side, and we're going to focus on our egg yolk mixture here. I'm going to add in our sugar, a little bit of salt, and I'm going to make sure I mix that together really well. Again, making sure it's nicely combined. That'll make it easier to incorporate it into our hot cream mixture later. Now I did take our cream mixture and I did put it over a very low flame just to bring it up to temperature a little bit. You can skip this step, but I really think it helps the chocolate that I'm adding in now to melt down a little bit before we add the rest of our ingredients into our mixture to then do the final heating process. But for me, after the chocolate has started to melt down a little bit, I'm going to add the rest of our ingredients, the milk, the sugar, the corn syrup, and I'm going to give that a good mixing and make sure it's all well combined before I bring it back to the heat. And again, guys, do not sleep on adding in the corn syrup. It's really going to help smooth everything out and make the ice cream just that much better. And once it's all mixed together well, I'm going to put it over a very low heat just to melt our chocolate even more and make sure the chocolate is all well combined. And now that we've nicely melted our chocolate into our cream mixture, we're going to move over and temper our eggs, and we're going to do it the same way we did before by slowly stirring in the hot cream mixture into our egg yolks and sugar mixture. And again, you don't want to go too fast or too slow. You kind of just have to gauge it after trial and error, but it's really not that difficult. And again, once it's all nicely tempered, I'm going to add it back to the pot, bring it up over a very low heat, and make sure it gets nice and thick. The thickness you kind of want it to be at is you want it to be able to coat the back of the spoon. And again, the thicker you get it here, I think the smoother the ice cream will turn out in the end. So you really want to make sure you get it extra thick with like 3 C's. And just to prove that I wasn't lying before, as you can see, we've got it cooked down into a very nice thick consistency, so that way it does coat the back of the spoon. Now we're going to add it into a fridge-safe container, and we're going to start by chilling it again overnight. Same as the mint ice cream, just let all the flavors combine and just bring it down to those fridge temperatures. That way we can freeze it really quickly. And now here I'm going to try and dye it black color. I didn't have any black food dye, so I just tried to make it with the other colors that I had. Didn't quite get there, but I think we darkened it enough to make it at least seem like kind of like blackish color. I don't know, you be the judge. But anyway, feel free to write down in the comment section below, what's your favorite Halloween candy? Me personally, I really loved Kit Kats. I think Kit Kat's pretty much the best OG candy bar out there, but hey, let me know. And after our cream mixtures have chilled in the fridge overnight, we're going to make our freezer vessel. Again, if you watch any of my ice cream videos from in the past, I'll show you guys how to make this. It's pretty much the same exact way. I'm just going to add my cream mixtures now after they've sat overnight, and we're going to start the freezing process. And again, I'm not going to bore you guys by telling you exactly how I'm going to freeze this. I do that in all of my other videos, so just feel free to watch them. I'll link some of them down in the description below, or you can just check out the ice cream playlist that I have made. Now you do want to make sure you have a lot of freezer space here, because I am going to be freezing 2 different kinds of ice cream at the same time. So yeah, you're going to want to make sure you have a lot of freezer space. And after freezing them for, a few hours, mixing them every 45 minutes or so, you're going to get to a very soft serve kind of ice cream consistency. And that's really what you're looking for whenever you want to add any type of inclusions into your ice cream. Here I'm adding in the chocolate chips because it's not going to be mint chocolate chip unless you at least have some chocolate chips in there. And just to make this even more chocolatey, I'm going to add in some crushed up Oreo cookies. Just the cookie part, because it'll really darken this down a bit, but it'll also give it a nice deep chocolate flavor. And another reason I like to really get my ice cream almost to frozen before I combine the two is because I want them to still stay separated. I want to have those ribbons of different ice cream flavors. That way they don't combine too much and you still get that nice minty flavor and those nice chocolatey flavor bits as you scoop into it. And you're going to want to let this freeze overnight just to make sure it gets extra hard, because this ice cream is really high in its fat content, so it melts really easily. And with that being said, I'm going to now decorate this and give it a bit of a Halloween kind of twist to it. I'm going to add some gummy worms, some of the other crushed up Oreo cookies to make it look like dirt, just to give it that really Halloween-esque kind of theme. Now, even though mint chocolate chip ice cream isn't my favorite, I must admit this really came out tasting amazing. The mint, the chocolate, it was really something special. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a healthy and a safe Halloween. Stay tuned for more videos. I got a lot of them coming up in the future, some really great baking videos. You can follow me on Instagram or Facebook, which I'll link down in the description below. That way you can get a nice behind the scenes look at how I develop my recipes. Anyway, guys, thanks again, and peace.